Okay, 20 seconds to do number 2. All right, so by now you should be ready to do number 2. If you need to pause the video, pause the video. Okay. All right, number 2. So we start out with the first measure with 4 quarter notes. Okay, we've seen 4 quarter notes before. Okay, easy peasy. First measure: big 1, big 2, big 3, big 4. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty easy. Okay. Next measure: you should have a big 1, little 2, big 3, big 4. All right. So you see that? So yeah, big 1, little 2. Little 2 represents the second beat of that half note right there. Okay. And then we got a quarter note, beats 3 and 4. All right, now measure 3 should be the exact same as measure 2, okay? Big 1, little 2. I don't know if you can see that. Big 1, little 2, and then beats 3 and beats 4. All right, and then now the only difference we have is that last measure, okay? Last measure is kind of like a combination of this measure, okay? Of measure 1, okay? So if you look at measure 1, measure 1 and the first 2 beats of measure 1 and first 2 beats of measure 4, they're exactly the same. They're both quarter notes. So we know that this first one gets big 1, the second one gets big 2. Okay. But then we end with a half note. Okay. We end with a half note. So obviously it's got to start on beat 3. Okay. And then you're going to have a silent little 4. All right. A silent little 4. Easy peasy. Good. All right, now what I want you to do is number 3 and 4. Do number 3 and 4 real quick, okay? And then we'll probably wrap up class. Numbers 3 and 4. You might want to pause it. All right, number 3. Number 3 is a little tricky, okay? It mixes up everything. It's got half notes, quarter rest, okay? It starts to mix up rest, mix up the half notes in different areas, okay? All right, so let's just get through this. First one, obviously, big 1, little 2, big 3, big 4, okay? 1, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? Now the second measure is a little tricky, right? A little bit more tricky. You got beat 1 is that quarter note, okay? So big 1. Then we're going to have a big 2 for that half note, but now we still got to have somewhere for beat 3 to go, okay? Because we only got one more note in this measure. So beat 3 has to go with this half note too. So it should be big 1, big 2, little 3, and then big 4. All right, measure 3, you got big 1, big 2, big 3, little 4. Pretty easy. Can you see that? Big 1, big 2, big 3, little 4, okay? Measure 4, the one with that quarter rest in, okay? It's a little trickier, okay? So beat 1 is obviously going to be that. Beat 2 is going to be that quarter rest, okay? Because you know quarter rest only gets 1 beat. And then that half note obviously gets 2 beats, starts with beat 3 and a little 4. Now make sure you put, I didn't write this right, okay, but make sure you put that 2 for that quarter rest, small, and a dash, okay? Make sure you have the dash because the dash represents silence, okay? All right, let's move on to number 4? Let me write it down real quick. All right, this is number 4, okay? Let's see if I can get a better spot. All right. First measure is pretty easy because we got 2 quarter notes and 2 quarter rests, so pretty easy. We've seen this before. Big 1, big 2, little 3, little 4. Make sure little 3 and little 4 have a dash. All right. Second measure, now we got something new. This right here is what we call a half rest. This right here, half rest, okay? You can put it down if you want to, spell it out. I'm not going to spell it out, okay? Just know, half rest is, I mean, if you remember from last year, we said the hat on top, if you had the hat on top, okay, you're thinking like a man, hat on top means he's half man, hat on the bottom means he's a whole man, okay? So the hat's on top, so we know that gets 2 beats, okay? So we know that this one, first one's going to be big 2, little, or big 1, little 2 because of the half note. Now 3 and 4 had to go in this half note, this half rest, because the half rest also gets a gets 2 beats, okay? So what we're going to write is a big 3, little 4. But this time, since we're trying to show that we represent silence, we're going to put a dash through the 3 and the 4, okay? Just to represent the silence, okay? Measure 3, easy peasy. 1, 2, 3, 4, all of them should be big, okay? Now, this last measure should be the same thing as this second measure, except backwards, okay? So we're gonna have a big two, or big one, little two with a dash through both of those, and a big three, little four, okay, with no dash, okay? Easy peasy, okay? Um, so, so actually I'm gonna extend y'all's little homework for the night, okay? I meant to get through number 5, just so y'all don't have to do 6 through 10, but I'm gonna say homework is gonna be 5 through 10. I ran out a little bit of time. The video's going a little bit longer than it should have, but that's fine, okay? I wanted to go ahead and get through the syllabus and on to some work, okay? So for the homework for this, for lesson 2, 5 through 10. Lesson 1, 6 through 10, okay? Lesson 2, 5 through 10. Okay, get that done for homework. That'll be due that Friday. Okay, remember, homework and participation grades are the way we count your absences or tardies in class. So if you're doing the work, you should be fine. Hope you have a good day and enjoy the rest of your class. Also, make sure to get your syllabus signed. Thank you.